going to give you a couple minutes here to log in. Give you guys a couple seconds to hop on there. I know we got 174 right now on IG, and Lily, it just went live on Facebook. Jay, if you want to actually share it. Okay, because it's on mine here. Yeah, it's on here. So if you want to share it, start posting if you can. There, we give him a minute, guys, to log in. Make sure everyone can see it here. Is it showing up there on your phone? Not yet. Okay. Let's share it. Let's see here. Share the news feed. Let's do it again.
So we have international fan base because the documentary was just translated into 50 different languages all over the world.
Okay.
So we're getting people from all over the world that'll be speaking in their native tongue.
I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I just did a quick share, so it came up again. Let me see here. I got my guy here.
But Vince.
So where are you most popular overseas? Is it England? Is it Spain? Where are you most popular outside the U.S.?
You know, it's interesting. Ireland was booming, but a big part of South America now is booming. It was just translated. It was translated in Russian, and then we're on Apple TV, so that was huge for us. So anywhere that anybody has Apple TV, started getting it, and but just like Argentina, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, Canada has been huge, even parts of Africa, Armenia, all over really. It's just, it just trends, especially now during the holidays. People are, and under quarantine, it's just like breaking records, you know, more and more views, more and more people just writing to me, you know, just literally. I have a team now that has helped me because I can't get back to everybody, but I really do like communicate with the majority of the people that try to. I set aside at least an hour of my day to try to get back to fans, and people have questions, and you'd be surprised how life-changing it is when you actually communicate with somebody that you struck a chord with. So, you know, for me, it's important to like talk to the fans and stuff.
How often are you on the road now? Are you on the road a lot with everything going on, or are you mainly based in New York?
No, mainly in New York. You know, when I was in Florida, when we met, we went to Disney, and then we met a bunch of fans everywhere we were going. People saw the documentary at the Mr. Olympia. People were taking pictures with us that saw the documentary. Online, when I was standing online, it's kind of like weird because you notice somebody's looking at you, and they're like, they don't know if they want to approach you or nothing, and so like they're like, "You're from like Netflix, right?" I'm like, yeah, Amazon. And so we start taking pictures, and so it's cool, you know, like to just like meet people and them share their story, you know, of how it touched them and stuff like that. And people are like sending me pictures of their progress and their training and all this kind of stuff. So it's cool.
No, that's funny. Mr. Netflix, like, no, it's Amazon. It's Amazon. you have to correct them on the way.
Yeah.
So. And I just realized that we had it on lock here, so we just unlocked it here. My guy was pointing fingers here, unlock it. So we're going to give another minute here. Anyways, guys, if you're just tuning in, Johnny Mason in place, John Mason Money here. About to go live, actually already live, about to interview officially the real estate and fitness guru, Mr. Anthony Lolli. You may see him on Amazon Prime with the new hit documentary, Fat Lolli, the Six-Pack Lolli. And I'll tell you, that six-pack is real. Like, I'm just saying, like, when we met, bro, you were just shredded. The veins are busting out the shirt, you know. What's funny is one of our guys in our company, his name's Candy Thomas, Nigerian guy, runs like 15 miles a day, crazy stuff. And you would think he's 30. I think he's almost 50 now. But, you know, we always joke saying, can you please stop shopping at Kids Gap? Like, literally, stop. Like, the shirts just fit him so snug. He's probably the best fit guy in the company. But it's amazing what the body can do so quickly, man. What we were talking about.
Love it.
But we got about 400 people on here live on IG. We got some people here on Facebook. They're starting to get on right now. They'll share it here. But let's get into it a little bit, brother. So look, you know, you and I've had some great conversations. I came across the Amazon Prime documentary, and I said, this is a great freaking title. I said, look at this guy. Like, what is this? I click on it, I open up, I watch the trailer, and it caught my attention right away. So I watched the whole thing nonstop. I mean, it's a hypnotic situation. Like what you did was unheard of. But before even all this took place, give us the 2-minute story. Tell us about Anthony Lolli, the upbringing. I mean, I don't want to take away the documentary, but give me the 2-minute story about who you are and kind of how you got started in business.
All right. So my mom was an immigrant from Ecuador, had nothing to her name, actually came here to provide a better life for her son, my half brother. So she came here, lived in an abandoned building, worked in sweatshops. Many years later, eventually she met my dad. My dad was a World War II veteran, a public school teacher. He's Italian, and they got married, got together, and had me. So they didn't have much, but they gave me a lot of love and a lot of caring. And throughout that process, I talk about it in a documentary, I realized we didn't have a lot of money. And my dad was pretty nifty at making sure that we lived in nice neighborhoods under this law called rent controlled. So we were paying cheap rent in really, really nice neighborhoods. So I thought we had money, but when I would go to my friends' homes, they had money, you know, they were living in mansions and stuff. So I realized that I needed to do something myself to change my family tree. And so when I got old enough, I made a decision. I dropped out of college and decided to pursue a career in real estate at the age of 19. By the time I was 23, I was a multimillionaire, owning multiple buildings in New York City, started a real estate school, a real estate brokerage. The school became the second largest real estate school in New York City. I started a billboard company. I had over 72 billboards in New York City. Throughout that time, I started buying more and more real estate, adding to my portfolio of assets, commercial, residential, apartment buildings, condos, commercial. And at the same time growing my company, I franchised my company and exploded, went from one location to over 100 locations nationally. And then I decided to sell my school, sell the billboard company. And then eventually I sold my real estate company, but I continued to buy real estate. And throughout that process, I also achieved a lot of personal goals. You know, met the right person, started a family, kept meeting financial goals, won all sorts of entrepreneurial awards. I became a top 10 most sought after news contributor. I was on Fox, CNN, ABC, CBS, every newspaper under the sun. And then I wrote a book. It became a bestseller. I wrote a book like basically chronicling my whole entire career. I titled it The Heart of the Deal.
Yep.
And basically that became an international bestseller. It caused me to go speak around the world as an international speaker. And that was kind of awesome. Did some stuff with Barnes and Nobles and some of the major bookstores. Had the book in the airport stores and things like that. So that was awesome to go through that whole experience. And I started an entertainment company, started working with a lot of celebrities and musicians and rappers and stuff like that. And, you know, I had a Rolls Royce and a mansion, things like that. So they would use that and their music videos and their movies and stuff. So I got a taste for the entertainment business. So I got involved in the entertainment business. And then one day I just said, what's next for me? You know, and I had everything else, but I didn't have my health. You know, that was the main concern.
Yeah.
And so the next chapter in my life, as I turned 40, I had promised myself I'm going to be fit at 40. I'm going to be fit at 40. I accomplished so much. Anything I put my mind to in terms of business and personal, I would achieve, you know, but physical, that was that one thing that I couldn't achieve. That was just that one negative. It was like kryptonite, and it was haunting me and haunting me. And I tried so many times, about 9 times, and I failed. And I made a decision based on something that happened, an incident with my daughter, when I was really just a bad influence on my children. My wife is pretty healthy. She likes to eat good foods. And one day, you know, she got fed up. You know, she tried so many different tactics to try to get me to get my act in order. And it didn't work. And she used one tactic, which she knew would get under my skin. When my daughter was reaching to eat some bad food that I had, she said, "Don't eat that, you're going to get fat." And she never said that word in front of the kids. And she did that on purpose to kind of like, you know, this is it, Anthony, like you're not listening and I want you to live for the kids. And my daughter turned around and said, "Fat, what does that mean?" and she showed her a video of obese people, and then the video said, you know, obesity kills. And then my daughter looked at me and she said, Daddy, you're fat. I don't want you to die. And that was it. When she looked at me like that, and then I looked at my wife, and then it was a culmination of a lot of things, but that was just the defining moment that made me want to make that change. I found my reason why, and the next day I embarked on a journey, and I said, I'm going to document it. I'm going to get in the fitness industry. I'm going to break into the fitness industry, and I'm going to make sure that I be an exemplary example for the entire weight loss community, and go all out and break records, lose the most amount of weight, and get in the best shape, like world record in record time, and I did it.
I love it. I love it. I mean, we got to backtrack a little bit. I love the story here. Now, I'm confused about a couple things. First off, I'm very confused about this one. You mean you dropped out of college and still became a multimillionaire?
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I'm so confused. I thought you have to have a degree to become successful these days. That's what everyone's being told. So,
you know, there's a website. I don't know if it's still up there, but it was called the High School Drop or the College Dropout Hall of Fame or something like that, and it has all the different millionaires and billionaires. I think my PR person once submitted me to it, but it's honestly, you know, my dad was a school teacher for 25 years. You know,
so was mine.
And you know, he said it's not really where you're going to learn the tricks of the trade. You know, so. I decided to, because I was just bored, you know, I was really smart and I wanted to apply more of the things, and none of the things that I wanted to do were really being taught in school, and I'd rather go to the school of hard knocks, you know, and I was lucky enough to catch the internet so I could self-educate, and I like to read, I like to be informed, and I also like to surround myself around people that are smarter than me. You know, I'm humble enough to do that. And so I would, you know, get my education from people that were successful business entrepreneurs. You'd be surprised if you know how to ask the right questions, how much you could learn from the guy that owns a hardware store who probably owns 15 buildings also, you know. So there's a lot that I've learned on my own throughout the years.
It's funny you talked about being humble. Remember I said I surprised you. I don't want to tell you before because we didn't. And guys, if you're watching, we didn't really prepare this too much. I said, I'm asking a couple of things, then we're just going to have just a transparent conversation. Here's what's funny. When some of the people that I know said, hey, guys, I'm doing an interview with Lolli in a couple of days, they're like, wait, Lolli? I said, yeah, Lolli. They're like, bro, he is so awesome. So here's what people are saying about you behind your back that you probably don't even know. You treat people well, you take care of people, and your character is solid. Those are the three things that I keep hearing over and over again from people that are in New York that have done business with you, realtors, other people. So I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
People are saying it about you behind your back. I didn't tell you. I want to say it live. So just so you know, and I know that was a question I was going to ask you too, what's like working with you, but let's keep going with that. So you dropped out of college and you still became a millionaire. And that's a whole different thing today with people still think they have to go to school to become successful, which is a whole different conversation we're going to have later. And then obviously you built up the real estate business. You learned the school of hard knocks. And like we said, I think, honestly, the harder you have it growing up, the easier life will be on you. I think the harder you have it growing up, the easier life will be on you because a lot of us grow up in a certain area. We're typically naive to the real world. We're typically naive to the real world. And then we get out, like you said, you learn some things quickly and you rose to the top and your work ethics, you know, very, very high, as they say. So you got into the real estate. And then here's what I also found was interesting about what your wife did to you. Your wife is very smart, man. Your wife's a genius. Yeah. Because if women figure us out, guys, we're not that hard to figure out. We just have to come up with an idea and make it. And, you know, we have to take credit for the idea. The women, so she knew what she was doing. She wanted to come up with the idea, but make sure that you thought you came up with it, which is that right there. And you said you tried to lose weight, what, 9 times? 9 times, yeah. 9 times, and you failed. And then the 10th one did it. But here's the question, though. And I think you mentioned it, but I want to make sure we're clear. What was the difference between the 9th and the 10th time? Was it just the fact of it really caught your heart?
It was a huge difference. The 10th time I really saw it through, right? When I would buy a piece of real estate, I would envision not only the end result, but I would reverse engineer all the demolition, the construction. I would put forth the effort. I would go and work with the architects, work with the designer, go pick out the kitchen, go pick out the is it going to be nickel plated or chrome plated or gold plated doorknobs and hinges, like every finite detail, like how many, do you want a 3-way switch here? Or do you want a spiral staircase there? You know, what kind of stucco, what kind of molding, like so much detail is involved in a real estate project, you know, what kind of plumbing and this and that and exits and I would do that with no problem. Anything relating business, no problem. I could put in the work. I don't care how many hours, 22 hours a day, didn't matter. I would put in the work and I would see it through its completion. Anything regarding business. Regarding fitness, I couldn't see past the first 2 weeks. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a vision. And I wasn't educating myself either. Anything in business, I would take the time to learn, ask questions, seek out knowledge. I would ask a CPA. I would ask a more popular developer. I would talk to a contractor. If I got stuck on something, I would look for mentors. I would ask for advice, ask for help. I would even go around and look at similar properties that I was looking to emulate with this particular project. You know, I would put my heart and soul in it. When it came to my body, I didn't do anything. Where'd I go? Go to the gym, hit the treadmill, hit a couple of weights. Like, what kind of due diligence is that? You know what I mean? So I just said, why don't I just do what Arnold Schwarzenegger did? He applied the same principles in fitness to business. So I'm going to apply the same principles in business to fitness because that formula works. That I knew. Yeah. Except in fitness, it's more guaranteed. In business, it's still a crapshoot. You could do everything right, but then the team, somebody on the team could be a chink in the chain. So in fitness, it's all you. You're putting in the work, you're putting in the nutrition, you're putting in the time. That's something that you can definitely control and take 100% credit for. So finally, I was in a position that I could actually control my destiny, myself. And that was a very powerful thing for me to do and see. And you know, what's great about it is when you're renovating a piece of real estate or you're involved in a project, and you're starting to see progress, you're starting to see the sheetrock, you're starting to see the paint dry, you're starting to, you know, you start seeing the money, you start feeling the money. This thing's gonna be leased out soon, this thing's gonna be sold soon. You're already envisioning that, right? If you're working out, you're eating right, you're gonna start slimming down. The shirts are gonna fit a little looser, the pants gonna fit a little looser, the belt's gonna fit a little looser, you're gonna feel a little more energy. How the hell do you not take that and run with it? You know what I'm saying? So I was going through that. I would lose 10, 20 pounds every time I tried. I would do that. And then I would quit. It's like all of a sudden, I'm going to make $1 million, $2 million bucks. Oh, this is too much for me. I quit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like really dumb the way I was handling my body. I'm like, well, I wouldn't do that in business. I wouldn't start cash flowing and saying, wait, okay, that's enough for me. That's enough cash. I'm done. You know? So I just got addicted to it. I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this like I would do a business.
So why do you think so many people stop so much? Because in business, it's the same thing. I mean, I run a big insurance company here out in Orlando, and, you know, I've made some good money. A lot of the guys have made money. We have people in the company that are making millions. And so many times I've seen people get a promotion and they stop. I mean, even I had this habit. At one point, even I had this challenge. I would get a promotion. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I would take my foot off the gas. Or someone would make an income number, they would stop. And then they would get the pressure cooker. I think Tony Robbins talks about the pressure cooker, where the pain is so bad because you're going to change through what? Either your choice or by force. The pain is so bad, you start changing, you see the results, then the bad habits start coming back, and then the pain comes back, and you keep doing that. There's an addiction there. So why do you think so many people stop in business and in fitness? What would you say to that?
It's called delayed gratification. People only apply delayed gratification to certain things. I was in Disneyland. I waited 90 minutes to get on the Frozen ride. That's delayed gratification. You know what I mean? People go to college 4 years, 6 years, 10 years to get that degree and then start making money with it. So people possess delayed gratification skills. They just don't apply them when it comes to fitness or anything else in their lives for that matter.
Yeah.
You know? So people apply delayed gratification by force when they're working a 9 to 5. You know, they wait for that check to come on Friday, and then they wait for that income tax refund to come, you know, during tax season. So that's delayed gratification by force. So people have these skills, they're just not learning to translate those skills into this. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that people understand it's something that you're already doing in so many different things. Watching a movie, right? Watch it from beginning to end. It's delayed gratification, you know, or listening to a joke and waiting for the punchline. All of these things are delayed gratification. So you have to be able to program your mind, attach that to your body, and say, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Because I see that happening all the time. People celebrate going to the gym one day. They're already going out there. And for them, it's enough just to let their friends know they're working out. You know what I mean?
They take selfies.
That's it. They got their high and they're done with it. You know what I mean? So they're gratified because at least it appears like they're going somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really got to be more about actually completing the actual journey.
So here's the fun question. Okay. Today's the 29th, and I wanted to do this interview with you right before the new year. Okay, right before the new year. Because in a couple of days, people are going to get together, you know, depending on what state you're in, right? You know, how far apart you're going to be. We get these little things. This is called the ninja mask, right? You got to wear your mask. But some people are going to get together, and they'll have some champagne. They're going to, you know, get a little, you know, caffeinated up, little Mountain Dew here and there. And they're going to feel good. Then after a couple of shots, after a couple of drinks, they're going to scream to the world, here's my New Year's resolution. Right. And what are those 2 New Year's resolutions every year? It never changes. I'm going to what? Lose more weight, make more
money. Yeah.
But every year, people always gain more weight and lose more money. We keep seeing this over and over again. That, you know, if you want to make fast cash, go sell gym memberships for January. You'll do very well for 1 month, right?
Exactly.
So people sign up in January, quit by February. So here's some questions for you because you've been successful in business and fitness, and you're taking the skill set and the mindset from what you've developed over years into fitness. So I want to ask for the viewers here. I'm going to make the resolution. I want to lose more weight and I want to make more money. 2021 is my year. It is really my year. 3 things. Give me 5 if you want. Give me 2 or 3 things that if I want to make more money. Let's talk about money first. If I want to make more money, you're a business guy. You've had a great track record. You've helped a lot of people become very successful. I want to change my 2021 to be the best year ever. What would be some advice, words of wisdom you would tell me to immediately start working on? Give me that step 1, step 2, step 3. What would you say to that?
First of all, deload. A penny saved is a penny earned. You'd be surprised on how much money you're spending on monthly subscriptions that you're not even using. So start off by cleaning and cutting off expenses. This already was being done through COVID. So some of the expenses that you were spending on lunches and this and that, you're no longer doing. So you have access to going back to work. Think about where you're spending your money on food, how much you're spending on Uber, all of these little things. Can you bike somewhere instead? So a penny saved is a penny earned. You'd be surprised. I know guys that are police officers and correction officers and firemen, and they don't really make a lot. Some of them touch 100,000, some of them don't, but they got 2, 3 homes. They have a ski home, a summer home, a vacation home. Why? Because they're budgeted well. So you don't actually need to make a tremendous amount of money to live very, very well. You just have to learn how to save money and save on expenses. So that's the number 1 thing. Really take a look at how you're spending money, where you're spending money, cancel some subscriptions and memberships. I don't care if it's $1.99 a month, whatever it may be, cut those things off. You know, that's number 1. Number 2, self-help books only work if you can help yourself. You have to really invest in education. You have to invest and spend the money. Scared money doesn't make any money. So if you think you have a plan and that plan was not formulated or introduced to you or being coached to you by somebody more qualified than you, then you're going to fail. Because what, you know, Einstein says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So a lot of people fall back to the same old plan that never works. So if you're going in that direction, you're already going to fail. Do something different, you know, start looking at different things, start subscribing, take some of that saved money and subscribe to entrepreneurial things like your good buddy, Patrick Bet-David, you know, what he teaches and things like that. Those things are awesome to actually invest in and start learning and get educated. So start, you know, your Instagram feed needs to change. You know, if you look at my Instagram feed, all it is six packs and muscles and this and that, because it's going to give you the algorithm of what it is that you're constantly looking at, right? So look at your suggested Instagram feed. That's where your mindset is at. Change that. If it's all about money and all about business and all about 2021 empowerment and success, then start programming your social media to start feeding you those ads, feeding you those suggestions, feeding you those pages. The commercials that come up on the YouTube stuff that I watch are all business and fitness. Why? Because that's all I watch is business and fitness.
Yeah.
So you need to start programming the tools so you could give yourself the right mind vitamins.
I love it. What's funny is we have a book of the month club. Every month we have a different book of the month. This month was the Four Agreements. The Four Agreements. And obviously the first thing is be impeccable with your word. Keep your word. And that's what we're talking about. If you say you're going to lose weight, then keep your word. I finished that book. I'm actually on the second book. I'm rereading this book right now, actually. I'm rereading this one, which is one of my favorites here. And it's interesting because before I transition to the next question here, okay, I'm going to bring this up in a second. But let me ask you this first, and I'll bring this back up here because this chapter 2 is funny. You talked about 3 things in business. All right, let's go to fitness. I want to lose more weight. I'm telling you, I'm going to lose it. Why do you think most people never lose the weight they say they're going to lose? Why is it that they sign up for the gym, they put their money down, they get in their monthly, and then all of a sudden, poof, they're gone? Why do you think that is? Is it the same reason, or why? Or let's even clarify, what can somebody actually do to keep their word to themselves to actually lose the weight in 2021 and keep it off? What would you say to that?
Why do you need to lose the weight? That's the big problem there. Why? You have to find your why. Why do you need to lose weight? You have a wedding, you need a deadline, a reason. Is there a photo shoot? You have to, if you don't have one, then create one. You know what I mean? So you have to create a reason why. Either it's a chip on your shoulder or something. Because if it's just because, it's like everybody wants a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but why do you really need it? Do you really need it? You know what I mean? Some people just would like to lose weight, you know? It's not necessary. Their family still loves them. They'll still be married, or they'll still be able to date. So why? What is the reason why? You want to feel better about yourself. Okay, is that strong enough of a reason why? You know, you have to really figure out why. Why? And you know what? If you're not around the right people that's going to give you that new why, then you have to change your circle. You know, because you might even be the fittest person in your circle, you know, and you might hang around that circle because around them, you look like the fittest person. So that's another thing that you could do subconsciously is put yourself outside of your comfort zone and start hanging out with people that have the physique of your desire. Start making new friends. New friends will introduce to you new habits, new ways of thinking, you know, new recipes, new guidance, you know, all sorts of different things. So a lot of people are afraid to make new friends and change their circle. So that's something that you have to be able to do in order to recreate your why. You know?
Yeah, I think people are embarrassed to talk about it too. You know, they say when you know you want to be able to have your phone with your girl with the lights on sometimes. You know, so you want to be able to feel good, and ladies as well. But the fact is, you know, you talked about Patrick, and Patrick's an amazing mentor. And one thing, he talks about a lot of things that most people don't want to talk about. And one of them is health and fitness. There's no point of making all this money if you can't enjoy it. And a lot of our guys in our company have lost a lot of weight. Again, Hector Del Toro is out in California, makes $1 million plus a year. I think he's down 40 pounds already.
Wow.
We have a guy, Marvin Del Valle, here in Orlando as well. I think he's down 30, 35 pounds. And his why was because of the COVID. Because of COVID, he's a little older, a little bit more risk. And if you're overweight, you're even more risk. So because he's married, he's got the kids, he says, I'm going to set the example for the family, weight's off. So you're right about the why. When the why's big enough, the how, you'll figure it out. And even my brother, Dean, and his girlfriend, Anda, they're doing this fasting thing. They're doing the fasting. How do you feel about the fasting? How do you feel about
I've never tried it. You know, there's a lot of people that swear by it. You know, our team of coaches recommend it every so often. I've never had to do it. I mean, I'm a guy that lost a tremendous amount of weight and got in incredible shape without doing that. I have nothing against fasting, but the kind of energy that I exert in a workout, I really need to have that fuel in the tank, you know, but everybody's different, you know. I know I did do some fasting right before I was going to go on stage during something what they call peak week, where you're actually really, really losing a lot of fat and really measuring your salt and your water and all that kind of stuff. So it does play a role in accelerated fat burn and really chiseling yourself up. But you got to be at that lean body fat percentage to really get those benefits, you know, to put yourself through that. But some people do it and they have a lot of good luck with it, you know. Yeah. The reality is a lot of these things work. It's just what is sustainable. That's the main thing. What is sustainable? Some people say fasting as some sort of magic bullet, but can you sustain that? You know what I mean? Lifestyle. So that's the thing. You want to be able to get involved in a dietary plan that's sustainable forever. You want to have a relationship and a marriage with food where you can go to a restaurant or you can go out and you can make these healthy choices and not damage and erase all the work that you put in. So until you really get a good understanding of what food does for you and how it works and complements your workout or doesn't complement your workout or complements your energy or your mindset or your thinking, all sorts of different stuff, then you don't know. Because I have diets that will make you look incredible, but will turn your mind into mush, you know? So there's different plans for different executions.
I love it. And what's funny is, I didn't tell you this either. I was laughing when it came up on Amazon. Whatever, when I pulled it up, it was your documentary. Then to the right of it was Hannibal Lecter, and then it was Silence of the Lambs. And I'm like if this was real, you'd be Hannibal's dream, bro. Like, what were you thinking when it came to that surgery? Like, that's a big freaking surgery, man. I mean, what was going through your mind?
The other day, my wife and I, she looked at me, she was like, I can't believe you did that surgery. Yeah. You know, I said, whatever it takes, man. You know, I turned around, I said to Mike, I said, you know, I thought, you know, I was rooting. I had my fingers crossed. I said, I'm not going to be a loose skin victim. I'm not going to be a loose skin victim. But I was only lying to myself because the reality is there's women that get pregnant and only are kind of big for like 9 months or even 4 of the 9 months, their belly's stretched, and they have to get a tummy tuck just from 4 months. Here I am, 41 years of being obese. What did I expect? You know, how long can you expand the rubber band and expect it to contract? Yeah. So it was inevitable. And the reality is I don't regret it. You know, I think it was the best decision I ever made. It was very painful. I had said my goodbyes to my family because it was a 7-hour surgery, you know, and it was something that anything could go wrong. And then on top of that, I was supposed to take a full year to recover, you know, but I was going to do it. I'm very headstrong. I'm very determined. And I said to myself, I didn't go this far to only go this far, you know, and I sought out the best doctors to do it. And I actually interviewed over a dozen different places. Now, you have to understand, you can't go to a plastic surgeon and talk to them for free. They all charge you $500 to $1,000 just to consult because they don't have that kind of time to sit down with window shoppers. So I went and met with 12 of them, and they ended up settling with one that only does men. And I learned all about the different specifics because I didn't want scars. I didn't want all this kind of crazy stuff. Yeah. And I could have went through my insurance because there is an opportunity for your insurance to cover something like this. But I actually paid out of pocket because I wanted to go with this specific doctor that sold me. And after I spoke and interviewed all these other doctors, I said, this is the one for me. And it was an incredible experience. And till this day, we talk all the time. He's like, you've healed like no one's ever healed before. I can't even see your scars. I'm like, yeah.
He does good work. He's like, I can't see your scars. I do good work is what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I do good work. 7-hour surgery, man. I hope you had life insurance before you went in there. I mean,
yeah. You know, everything was buttoned up, man. I honestly, I said my goodbyes. I said, you know, and then in the documentary, I didn't know I was up. You know, we talked about it in the documentary. I was like, I'm alive. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I made it. You know, in my head, I was thinking, okay, if I die, I'm gonna die in my sleep. You know, And at least I died trying. That was my mindset going into it, because you can't really chicken out. I just looked at my wife, who gave birth naturally to both of our children. The last child, she did a water birth, and with no epidural, no painkillers, nothing. And I said, wait a minute, if she can do that, I can't do this 7-hour surgery. And I remember looking at her right when she was having the contractions where she was ready to go in the water. And we looked at each other and we said, there's no turning back now. So like, I said, man, if she went through that, I could do this, I could do it. You know what I mean?
And what's funny is about the book I was talking about, Imagine Thinking Big, chapter 2 or 3, it's the most deadly disease out there, and you need a vaccine to it. And it's not COVID, it's called excusitis. It's called excusitis. There's always an excuse for something.
Yeah.
And I think the vaccine is what you're hitting. You have to be clear about what you want. You have the big enough why of what you're going after and what's the real meaning behind it. Like you said, your daughter said, Daddy, I don't want you to die. And that was the start, and that was a trigger, and you went through the process. And then from there, it was about improvement, not settling. You kept finding a bigger why and a bigger why and a bigger purpose. Yep. And I think you became purpose-driven, and I think you set a great example for a lot of people that don't want to make that change. I like what's going on, man. I mean, you and I are building a relationship, and I'm hearing more of these stories, bro. So it's getting interesting. But let me ask you this then, because your wife has been by your side the entire time. How important is it to have spousal support in business, in fitness, whenever you're trying to do something? Because, I mean, think about this. In business, you have to build your business. You have to have the freedom to go do what you got to go do to provide a life for the family. Now, even in the fitness, yes, you're getting healthier, but you're still taking some risks and different stuff here. What were those conversations like with your wife along this whole process?
It was tough because we had 2 brand new children, one that was just born. And, I was buried in the gym 6 hours a day, three times a day training. Then my mindset, was all focused around nutrition and the goals and things like that. And I had to turn down a lot of business opportunities that, were worth millions of dollars, but I knew they would distract me from my goal. There was a lot of real estate opportunities that came on the table that I just, turned a blind eye to because I said I was going to focus on this. So it was tough. It wasn't easy, but we both had an end goal in sight. We're big on dream boards. So we had a dream board of what we wanted my body to look like, what her body to look like, what our life was going to be like after the fact. And we're very goal oriented. So we said, this is the plan and we're going to stick to it. And there wasn't anything that I wasn't doing that I said I was going to do. So I was sticking to the plan. So she was sticking to the plan, like you said, keeping your word. I was going to keep my word. I was going to keep going. And it's like, it was kind of like, hey, you're doing your part. I'm doing my part. Great. Like that is basically it, and there was a lot of synergy there. There was a lot of support there. Very important that you let your family know, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that you're about to embark in a journey, that you're going to feel like crap, you're going to feel beat up, you're going to feel disenchanted, you're going to feel sad, you're going to go through mood swings, but this is a part of the process. I think a lot of people make the mistake, not only in fitness, but also in business, when they start a business, that they don't tell their family, brace for impact. When you get on an airplane, the pilot tells you, we're going through some turbulence. When he tells you we're going through some turbulence, even when you go through the turbulence, you feel a little sense of ease because this is part of the flight, part of the process. He's got it under control. So I think a lot of times what we do when we go embark in an entrepreneurial endeavor, people don't understand. You're not going to be making money at first. You're going to be putting 24 hours into the business every day, and you're going to be a little bit unhappy. You're going to have clients that don't pay you. You're going to have, employees that suck, that steal, that, all this kind of stuff. You're going to bring your headaches and you're going to bring your drama, and they're going to be like, what the hell am I supporting you for? If you're all sad, why don't you quit this and get a 9-to-5 job? Or why don't you go back to school? So you're going to get that type of advice because you're bitching and moaning and complaining, and you didn't explain that this was a part of the process. So the same thing works in fitness. You got to let them know, I'm going to come back beat up. I'm going to complain about being sore. I'm going to do this. Or you know, don't be a sissy about it and actually don't complain. You know what I mean? Be strong or fake
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? And do what you need to do. So there was a lot. I didn't come home and complain or any of that stuff. I just, you know, kept myself strong and let everybody know this is part of the process.
Yeah, what's funny is you talk about, entrepreneurs. The joke is entrepreneurs always like to buy things, especially polar. We're all bipolar entrepreneurs, man. We got the highs, the low, the personalities. One day we're happy, 30 seconds later, boom. So you got to be careful with that switch. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is you talked about that. I'm actually getting back into mentoring. I was a Sigma Phi Epsilon Sig Ep fraternity guy back in the day, and I started getting back into mentoring some of these younger guys coming out of school. And you realize that they're taught one way of doing things. Like you have to have a degree to become successful. And you just said you dropped out of college and you became a multimillionaire. Well, that's going against the grain. That's going against what everybody's been taught their entire life. And I've always told people that the most successful people own companies and they have licenses, not degrees. But that's against what society wants us to believe. The first book I had them go read was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I said, if I'm going to work with you, you have to go read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Because if you can't think for yourself and you can't go against the grain, this isn't going to work. Because being an entrepreneur, you have to think for yourself, as well as you have to be able to handle the swings, because you're not going to get support from who? Friends, family, other people. They don't understand what you're going on. And with the fitness, same journey. So you failed so-called 9 times trying to lose weight. So now when you say, all right, guys, I mean it for real, the 10th time, they're still probably what? Probably doubting you. You're not going to do it. Yeah. And then you prove them wrong. You're like, ha. Now you've earned all the credibility. But along those 9 times, what was the feedback when you wanted to do the 10th? Were people still supporting you? Were people doubting you? Like
what I did was I didn't tell anybody except my family. I actually stayed off social media for the entire time. I didn't let anybody know. I actually didn't let any of my friends and associates see me in person. I didn't post anything. I went in a hiatus, a social media hiatus, and disappeared. And stayed out of contact and out of sight and made new friends. And that was just it. I'm really good at just, cutting people off and moving on. So that's what I did. I just moved on and started a brand new life and just told who I needed to tell that was going to give me the right support. And who else didn't need to know, because they weren't going to add any value, any expertise, any positivity. So I didn't bother telling anybody. And then it was New Year's Eve that I posted the first picture of myself that I had made a transformation. And that's when everybody went crazy, like, what's going on, this, that,
Yep.
But I didn't tell a soul. I just kept it to myself. I'm really good like that, Part of getting older is actually having that type of maturity and that self-control, I had the self-control with food now. So being able to have self-control in other departments of my life became so much easier.
Yeah, you were ridiculed in the beginning. You're crazy and nuts. You're not going to do it. Then you're opposed. Let him do his thing. He's not a real friend. He cut us off. Then you made it. Oh, wait. We always knew you would do it. You're such a special guy. You're a New Yorker. We always knew you had it in you.
Right.
It's people. It's human nature. But let's transition a little bit here. I know we're getting towards the end here. I want to talk about this RBT challenge. You've been building up. There's a craze going on. Everyone's taking their health and fitness seriously. Moving forward now, they realize how important our health is, and there's a big awareness. So tell me what's going on with this RBT challenge, how it got started, and what's going on.
So we have a company. It's called Radical Body Transformations. Not only is it a fitness company, it has probably, I would say, some of the top coaches in the world, international. I was just in Florida where we met at the Mr. Olympia, where one of our coaches actually won his pro card, Karim. And of course, the coach that you see in the documentary, Mike, is on there with my partner, Carlos, and James as well. So not only is it a fitness company that provides online coaching, online personal training, nutrition plans, but also it provides an accountability partner. We give you people that you could talk to that that have been through a transformation just like myself. Either they've been really thin and put on muscle, male and female, or super obese and lost a lot of weight. We have coaches that are 65 years old that have bodies like they're 35 years old. So, you know, we have the best coaches, and what we do is we introduce them to you, and we pair you up with the right coach. And we have a website. It's called rbtchallenge.com. And there's an opportunity for you to join. We have a lot of challenges that we launch every month. Some of them offer prizes. Some of them offer free coaching. But you got to be in it to win it. So just go to the website, rbtchallenge.com. You fill out the form, and it'll give you all the information that you need to be a part of what we have going on. You know, I'm wearing a shirt right now that says "Be New." That's the whole point here, right? We're almost at 2021. Are you ready to be new? Because I know that's what I needed. I needed to be a brand new person, inside and out. And when you go through a transformation, not only is it a physical transformation, but it's a mental transformation. And when you combine the physical and the mental, the financial just comes automatically. People are automatically attracted to physically fit people, but there are statistics that show that physically fit people get paid higher salaries. They land higher commissions. They close bigger contracts. They live a happier lifestyle. So why not add that tool to your belt? Why not? You would run out and spend money on those expensive sneakers or that expensive watch or that expensive car or that expensive iPhone, but you won't spend the money on your body, which in the reality is the best investment, because that's your showroom. That's your showroom. You know what I mean? Your body is like, I used to have a Rolls Royce. I still have my Rolls Royce, but that would be like the biggest showpiece, right? So I would park it. People would surround themselves around the car, want to take pictures. What do? I'd actually make money with it because people would come and want to work with me or buy a location or do business with me or talk real estate. I have a license plate that says now hiring. And but you can't take that Rolls Royce with you inside the movie theater, inside this department store, you know, but you can't take your body. You know what I mean? So what's great about having, you know, Rolls Royce type of body is that it speaks volumes about your discipline. It speaks volumes about where your mindset is, at least in one area. You know what I mean? So people spend money on nice clothes. What are you trying to tell people? That you care about how you look, you care about how you dress. But how about those nice clothes really fitting that nice body? That's that next level. That's that next level of success. That's that next level of winning. That only a small margin of people are working so hard, taking so many courses, learning so much. You mentioned Rich Dad, Poor Dad, to be the 1% of America, you know, making over $400,000 a year. Well, why not do something that doesn't take a lot of money to do and become also part of that 1% of people that keep themselves physically fit and actually keep their word? You know, imagine going into 2022, recording yourself saying, this is my New Year's resolution. I watched from Fat Lolli to Six Pack Lolli, and I'm making this promise just like he promised himself. By 2022, I'm going to have the body of my dreams. That's 12 months. That's 4 months more than what it took me. If it took me 9 months to go from this to this, you could do much more with 12 months. And that's what we can offer you at rbtchallenge.com.
No, I love it. And you hit it on the head, because what's funny, you talked about people that are in shape, have more energy, make more money, etc. Top guy in our firm is a guy named Matt Sapala. Him and his wife Sheena run an amazing business based out of Chicago. They personally mentor me. I work directly with them. And about 2 or 3 years ago, Matt wasn't in the best shape. He was very skinny, you know, a little tired. But next thing you know, he says, I'm going to get in shape. And over the last year and a half, I mean, a total different guy. I mean, it looks like he does car tipping after school. I mean, he's jacked, and he's always at the gym. He's up at 4 or 5 in the morning. He's a retired Marine as well. You know, Sheena also works out. They have a home gym at the same time because it's Chicago. It snows. You can't go somewhere sometimes. But they're also the top earners in the company. So you're right about being fit, more energy, more income, better life, better quality of life. And I think everything you said hits on the head, man, about people believing in themselves, outside people doubting them, and moving into the new year. Let's end with this last question. Then we're gonna end our session here today. So going into 2021, we're gonna probably have some crazy times coming up. I think 2021 is gonna be a little crazier than 2020, in my opinion. Just my opinion, okay? From what I see, what's going on, we still got, you know, I said I wasn't going to get into politics. I'm going to try not to get into politics, right? So we still got all these things going on outside of our control. We don't have control out of these things. So being that there's going to be some crazy stuff coming in 2021, 2020 caught us off guard. They caught us off guard. We didn't know what was going on. Big slap in the face. People getting fired, furlough. You know, people can't go to the gym. People were going crazy with restaurants closing, gyms closing, etc. Knowing that that may happen again, I have to be careful with my words. It may happen again. We don't know for sure. Being that it may happen in 2021, what are some things people can do to take immediate action going into 2021 to make sure they don't get caught off guard again, whether it's their health or their finance? What would you say?
Well, first of all, it depends on your circumstances, right? Like if we're talking about business and finance, you're not going to get caught off guard because you already know what's to happen if and when it does happen. So you already have a playbook. You know, you can't trip over something twice, then there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? So you already saw it. You already know what happened. Now you got to pivot. You got to move a little different, and you got to pick up a skill that's in demand now, right? You should get on that Google and figure out what's hiring now with the pandemic and take a class or a course and get educated. Hire a headhunter or do what you need to do to get yourself gainfully employed in the new world. Whatever, people are always hiring, you know, like people, I know we're hiring, we're taking on people. And the fact is that there are businesses that are thriving right now.
Yeah.
There are businesses that are moving to Florida. I just read an article yesterday where there's tons of businesses moving to Florida. There's also businesses moving to New York. So there's always opportunity out there for you to get a job and work. But you have to kind of get off your ass and look for it. You can't just sit there and wish it and to come to you. You know, you have to put in the work and pick up a new skill. So that's key right now, that you do that. And as far as fitness is concerned, we just talked about it for 10 minutes. Yeah. You have now somebody that if you don't know who I am, now you know. Watch the documentary because that's the easiest thing you could do. If that doesn't inspire you to actually call me and lose weight, then forget about it. Stay fat or stay skinny, whatever it is, because it's never going to happen. Because this is the time. You had the whole entire year to reflect, unload, figure out what's going on with life, really think. Now you have New Year's where you're not going to be going out partying in the clubs. You're not going to be going and doing all of these things. You're staying away from your family. I know a lot of people are just going to do New Year's at home. So what's your excuse now? You know? So if you don't do it now, you know, in the documentary, I talked about it. Carlos and I looked at each other after I failed so many times in losing weight. He tried a couple times. And we said, you know what? Let's just be real. We're just going to die fat. That's just it. We looked at each other and we said, this is it. You know, we gave up. We said, this is it. You know, like, let's just own it. You know what I mean? And so, like, I was okay with owning it. You know, I was like, I told my family, I said, I don't want to work out. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'll die fat and young. That's it. You know, like I had made that decision. So those are the options. You know, if COVID didn't scare you to actually get fit and get healthy, if, you know, losing your job and figuring out what's going on in life, losing friends and family didn't shock you. You know, if this didn't cause you to hustle, I posted something on Instagram the other day. If 2020 didn't turn you into a hustler, then you have no shot. Yep. So that's the reality is it's a wake-up call. It's now or never. Never, never, never.
Yeah. And our firm grew, I think, 117% this year. You know, we have more guys making 6 figures, 7 figures than ever before, and we're still growing. So I'm looking forward to 2021.
Yeah.
But Anthony, brother, listen, I know you get the family and they get stuff going on today. For the 1,700 viewers that were on today, appreciate you guys. If you want to ask us some questions here, a quick Q&A, we'll take the next 2 or 3 minutes here. If you have a question on Instagram, post it on, put your question there. If you have a direct question for Anthony, whether it's business, whether it's fitness, want to know more about the RPT, I'll give you guys a second here to ask a quick question. Because I know a lot of you guys have been patiently waiting to ask. I get my text message been blowing up here. I just keep, you're the man. Is what they say. You're the man, Anthony. So there you go. A lot of people just backing you up here. So, but let's give him another minute here to ask some questions here. How can I get you to train me? Well, there's the answer. Go to rptchallenge.com. Go fill out the form and let them know that you got a chance to watch the live Zoom with John Mason Money and Anthony Lolli. And maybe he'll pick up the phone and call you directly. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
Let him know.
possible.
What time is it? It's almost 6 o'clock Eastern. You ever want? Let's go. What you meant, you actually have one that keeps you focused. Do you have something that keeps you focused?
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. That's it. Whatever it takes. Like, you know, go through it now, cry about it later.
There you go. Okay. Some people just did that. There you go. You know, words of affirmation are very powerful. It keeps you going through those tough times. Lots of love coming your way. The documentary is called Fat Lolli to Six Pack Lolli. It's on Amazon Prime. I just Google Lolli and it comes up. It's Lolli. Lolli should pop right up. But Fat Lolli to Six Pack Lolli. Sugar addiction. Did you have a sugar addiction? Because I asked you before. I said, what food were you addicted to? You said everything.
Everything. You know, I was having this conversation where we're having a song that we're producing with a Grammy Award-winning producer. I'm going to be training her. And she has a sugar addiction. So she's like, did you have a sugar addiction? I said, did I? I would have a pint of Haagen-Dazs every night. That was just like my nighttime TV watching food. Besides all the sugar I had all day. It's honestly the goal of having your transformation has to be bigger than the addiction. That's the truth. Yeah. You have to have that goal. And having somebody coaching you along the way was key for me.
Accountability. Accountability definitely was a lot. I mean, ice cream does sound good, though, I'm not going to lie, but it's not going to get me closer to my goal. So I understand that part. But well, how do we ever stick to your diet? I think we answered that. You know, have your why in place, have your goals in front of you. You said the vision boards were out there. Let's see if there's any more questions here coming in. And guys, don't be afraid to ask me. Maybe you're going through something right now. You just want to, you know, get some clarity on whether you've lost motivation. Whether what's this here? I'm finding that weight training is easy to die. Yeah, the struggle. They say what? 6 packs are made in the kitchen.
Yeah,
abs are made in the kitchen. So, what was your biggest? What's your favorite food right now? Let me ask you that question. Like, what do you like the most that you see in the? If you're trying to get in shape, what are some things you would start maybe adding to your diet versus eliminating?
Every diet that we do is custom to everyone's palate. So if you like food, if you like burgers, if you like steaks, if you're a pescatarian, a vegetarian, we custom tailor the meal plan according to your likes and dislikes. So you can have your favorite foods, literally. Like we'll program your favorite foods in the diet. So my favorite foods are steak. I like rice. I like chicken. I'm a basic guy, but other people like other things, tilapia, all sorts of different things. So it's all custom to what you like to eat.
I love it. So anyways, that's Fernanda, my brother there. That's Faz143. That's my brother's girl right there. They love the stories. They're big fans of yours. I know they wanted to hang out with you, but they were in South Florida when we were here. So we'll figure out the next Disney trip.
Problem.
But listen, guys, I appreciate you guys all logging on. If you want to follow Anthony Lolli, you have his handle at Anthony Lolli. You want to follow me at John Mason Money, Jon Mason Money. Obviously, I'm the insurance guy, tax strategist, retirement planner. Feel free to connect with us on Instagram, also on Facebook. If you want to reach out directly to Anthony, obviously you have the IG. You also have the Amazon Prime, Fat Lolli, the Six Pack Lolli, and the RBTchallenge.com to talk more about the coaching, the weight loss. And here's what I'll say to end up, guys. Going into 2021, have a plan. Don't wing it. You're looking at a guy that was the biggest winger. I still wing some things in my business and my life. I have to improve. Every little thing it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about progress. Have a plan step by step and little tweaks in there. It's like golf. If you grip it one way, if you over tweak, it's too much. Just a little tweak and the ball changes. So think about what little change in your diet, in your workout program, in your routine, maybe it's your circle, whatever it is, think about that little tweak. You can start making adjustments and be a plumber of your life and start plugging those leaks along the way. So with that being said, Lolli, love you, brother. Thank you for your time. Viewers, pleasure connecting with you. Looking forward to our next challenge. Have a happy and safe new year, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.